But in the college game, DU is still kicking. Pioneers beat up on Brown today in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Turned out to be a glorious afternoon at Peter Barton Stadium. Took a lot of work to prepare that field and that team. Photojournalist Brian Madden with an all-access look at game day at DU.
When I woke up this morning at like 5:30 I'm laying in bed and we've got a grounds crew that's out there working to clear this field. When you got a group of people who doesn't really know any of the people or any of the kids willing to, on a Sunday morning, come out and clear a field like that and get it ready like that, it made us feel good that people were there for us.
We'll get here, we usually go about 9:30, we get breakfast. It's kind of an array of things, some cereal, we get fruit, eggs, and then there's some like sausage.
Everybody's joking around, everybody's relaxed until really we're going outside. Everybody just tries to keep a calm attitude and focus.
Let's go out there and do what we do and take care of business. See you later.
DU Grilling Society.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This is a student club on campus that we get funding from the university to provide food for students around the campus. A lot of people come out to the tailgates actually just to get food.
Yeah, this is the tailgate show.
I think the real goal is to bring spirit to the community of Denver.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There's definitely a lot more energy and everybody's so much more excited. This is what you work throughout the entire year for. I mean, this is kind of everybody's dream as a kid to make it to the playoffs.
The whole DU community comes down, and it really is the lacrosse capital of the West. There's a lot more on the line. It's, you know, if you lose, you're out. There's no gray area with that. It's not like any other game day. There's a little more nerves.
It's nothing like playing at home. It'll feel a little different just because there's a lot on the line, just knowing that, but at the same time, like, you just got to go into it like it's any other game.
We definitely have to focus on this weekend. Brown's the first step to that national championship, and that's what we have to focus on the most.
And a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Baptiste does what he does. Straight down shot goal.
First one, more after the fact, it's kind of like a relief almost. It's like, okay, I got the first one out of the way.
Dylan Mully's shot saved LaPlante. LaPlante just racking up saves so far today.
I wish that goalie hadn't got hot against us, and you certainly tip our hat to how well LaPlante played today.
It was a difficult week. It was really hard. We knew we had 6 days to prepare. You get anxious at this round. This is a tough round.
Canizero comes around, finishes with a backhander.
We really stayed focused on Brown because they're such a different team and they play such a different style than what we've seen all year. So we were pretty focused on Brown and just winning the first game to get to the next one.
Being a Colorado kid, having the quarterfinals in Denver, I mean, that's kind of your dream. I mean, that's the landmark of college lacrosse.
Pioneers advance to the quarterfinals where they'll meet Ohio State next Saturday at Mile High Stadium. No snow in the forecast, we hope. Ohio State, by the way, last team to beat DU this season. That was 2 months ago.
got that pile fever. Woo! No humming.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on a playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of school when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. On one little fight, and my mom got scared and said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle Bel Air." Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Let's get our focus back on what matters, okay? And that's stick, the ball, the game, okay? The rest is now over. Now it's just about playing Notre Dame in a lacrosse game on Saturday afternoon.
Get off to a great start, okay, by getting a good warm-up in, okay? Don't be afraid to break a sweat, okay? Make a little bit of contact in some of the drills. Get your feet underneath you, okay, so that we get off to a great start. That's the key today. There's nothing better. There's nothing better in this sport than this game today, okay? Let's go get them, all right?
We cannot win out here today unless we stay together, unless we play the way we know how, unless we know that we're going to win. We are all in this together. This is a 60-minute or more war. It's a war. We have done this together. We will do this together. We will go out there right now and we will be ready from the start. We'll be ready to pick up the first ground ball. We'll be ready to defend their first attempt at the goal. We'll be ready to score on our first shot. What we won't do is we won't look back. We are going forward, fellas. We are going forward and we are doing this together. Pass on 3, 1, 2, 3. Pass!
The face-off matchup is huge. Trevor Baptiste, number 9 for Denver, the freshman out of New Jersey, the best in the country, winning 69% of the draws. Notre Dame will throw a bunch of players at him, but we start with Nick Acello. Which Western team will play for the championship on Memorial Day? Now Sean Cannizzaro being guarded by Eddie Glazner. Here's a look and a goal by Tyler Pace.
Face-off win and a successful clear against the 10-man ride. Denver, they'll grind you. Long possessions. What happens defensively is you lose your bearings, you lose your marks on the field, and typically you get too condensed.
Broken stick for Denver right now, coming off. Notre Dame has numbers.
6 against 5, man. Pass gets picked off. Tremendous job by the defender. Looks like Christian Bergdorf, the All-American, coming up with the interception. That's Adamson with the ball, but they move it into the crease. They tie it up and they score anyway. Bob Zine with the defender on his hands somehow makes it 2-0 Denver.
This extra man unit for Denver, absolutely lethal. 60% on the season. If you're clipping in around 40, you're doing something right. 60% insane. It's because of the ball movement. Notre Dame stretches. Denver recognizes, so it's really difficult for Notre Dame to play man down while you're playing the perimeter so hard. They look for the inside, a little one-timer.
Not even playing our best yet, boys. Let's start to bring it right now. Let's go.
Here you go. Him to stretch a defense, daring him to take that outside shot.
Acello takes the outside shot there. Wynn comes up with the ground ball, but bumps into his own player.
Patty's up! Backside! Stick in!
Well, he forces the issue and runs into a triple team. So good team defense by the Pioneers forces the turnover.
All the offense we're getting, you're getting the shots, all right? Every good shot we take is wearing them down more and more. So don't worry about it. Just keep taking the good ones.
Run by their man and get the defense on the carousel.
Berg against the short stick near. Williams quick to slide. Now here's Connor Cannizzaro against Landis. Lightning fast to no avail there. Now his brother Sean, tied up by Glazner momentarily, trying to force the hold call. Now it's shot clock. So the refs have set the tone here in the first half. 30-second shot clock. They get away from the double and they score. Zach Miller.
Shot clock on. No sweat. Zach Miller has put together one of the best passing midfield years in recent memory. This time he creates and splits this double. This is an insane move. He takes that stick just a smidgen lower than normal. Right here, you'll see he comes out and ducks it underneath Glazner. That is pretty.
Under 7 to play. Now Connor Cannizzaro looking to create against the best defender in the country, gets a step and scores. There's your edge on display.
Lightning, quick feet, and a change of direction. You need some ankle tape if you're going to cover this guy. Boom, right there. The change of direction and the burst. The finalizer move, patented by Ryan Powell of Syracuse.
Ground balls, good hard passes, all right? Defensively, dig in every possession like it's overtime. Every possession like it's overtime, okay? Offensive guys here, D down there, let's go. Stand on, we gotta dig in. Let's go, all right, we gotta dig in. See this, we're not done today. We're not done. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, D.
Meet on D, 1, 2, 3. Here's Acello, still can't cash in. LaPlante locked in to start the third. The shorty saw the slide coming. Pridemore had a look, but he couldn't thought about it before. Another huge ground ball, but LaPlante comes up with Collins. Berg takes the shot low and sneaks it past Doss. Denver back on top. He doesn't pull the trigger. One more. Here's a low shot, save LaPlante. He is locked in the third. 7 seconds for Reese. He's going to keep it. Right down Broad Street, he scores!
When a defensive midfielder comes down and can stick a goal like this on this stage, it gives your offense, it gives your team such a boost, an emotional boost, and Reese has been jarring all afternoon with his teammates. Every time he comes off the field, he's been an inspiration, an emotional leader. The biggest goal of his career, hands down.
He has forced 2 turnovers in this third quarter. There's the goalie with the big save and the react.
Ryan LaPlante made 6 saves in the third, and he's probably looking for a hockey assist on that last goal. The Pioneers, 15 minutes away from taking the biggest stage in college lacrosse.
Fellas, let's go. Let's go. We're in the next minute. That's all you have to worry about is the next minute. Let's go now. We are.
Feeds the crease. Perkovic, bounce shot, kick save by LaPlante. Williams can't come up with it for Notre Dame. Epple, the best ground ball man, can't come up with it. And you see the response from the Denver bench to know how important that was.
That scrap, it's like worth a minute of this game. How about that offense? A thing of beauty. Tic-tac-toe passing.
Look at that slant dunk. There's tired legs against tremendously skilled offense.
They earn the restart. 14, Wesley Berg with a big-time hip-to-hip body check. The possession continues, and that was an endless possession if you're Notre Dame's D.
Perkovic from Potsdam, save LaPlante. Ryan LaPlante made 13 saves on this field 2 years ago. He didn't play the second half, but he has been brilliant in the second half here today.
Hey, CG! CG!
Pushed aside by Kashansky for now. Now they let him go. Bad double, and he scores. Miscommunication And the sophomore takes advantage.
Pulls away from it. Again, Landis is there. They don't pinch him. He spins out of it and sets his feet. Good night.
Always has two hands on his stick too, Q. That's the box lacrosse background. You come out of a move, you're shot ready.
10 to shoot, low, save, toss, rebound, money in the bank. Right into the stick of pace. Tweeting Sergio with a picture of Drago from Rocky IV. Now Baptiste wins it and gets it ahead to Pace. They have numbers if they want to. What? Almost, they force it though, uncharacteristically. But they're gonna get it back. Oh my! Wesley Berg! Sports Center just got a top 10 to make it 10-6.
Tierney never saw it. He was down on the ground. He couldn't believe the turnover and the force feed to the crease. But Berg from British Columbia, the senior magician. This pass right here had Tierney down on the ground, pounding the turf. Couldn't believe it. Around the world. Keeps it in his right hand, loops it over the opposite shoulder.
Canadian box background. Who needs a left hand? When your right hand is like Wesley Berg or your left hand like Zach Miller, the wraparound essentially gives you that offhand. Might be the goal that brings Denver to their first national title game.
Perkovic for 2 points maybe. Oh my! 4 in the fourth. Acela with 12. Gets loose. Shot. Goal! Acela gives it to him to take up time. Still loose. 2 seconds left. Oh! A shocker in Philly. Denver and Notre Dame are playing bonus lacrosse. Next goal wins. Baptiste goes back to himself and is about to get jumped and he loses it. Kavanaugh comes up with it. Kavanaugh loses it. What a takeaway by Carson Cannon. Before Kevin Corrigan takes the timeout.
Let's go. Let's get one here. Let's end this thing. Like, end it. End it here. Go, boys. 1, 2, 3. Go. Let's go, baby.
So they come off Miller and he gets the ball. Loses his man, but does not shoot. Berg will. Ball game. Denver survives.
And now the game is on right here. 33 gets a step. Double team. Recovery a tad bit slow. We talked about Denver's passing all day. That ball is in and out of the sticks extremely fast. He earns the double. Watch Tyler Pace. In his stick, out of his stick. Same with Berg. Zip, zip, zip. Back of the net. Game over. See you Monday.
I was just thankful the game was over. When you're up by that much, you're watching the clock and you're just counting down the seconds. And then once we got into overtime, we just wanted to get the game finished as fast as we could, and it was a huge relief scoring.
Yeah, just going into overtime, we had our strategy, get the ball, our first possession, call a timeout, and get our subtle offense going because we're pretty confident in our 6-on-6 offensive play. And so we did that, ran a couple different sets, plays, and then finally Wes had a wide open in there and scored.
It's always a war, it's always a one-goal game. We thought we were up 4 with 4 minutes left. Maybe it wouldn't be, but the heart and the courage, especially Acela and Petrovic showed at the end of that game was really special. And we feel blessed and thankful to be moving on till Monday. I think a lot was made out of this. It's as if we were a bad program because we didn't make it to Monday. We're talking about a team that made 4 of the last 5 Final Fours, a group of young men that, nobody recruited, except for us. And, we just have something special going. Now, to move into this, it certainly it is a little relieving not because of the thing that you worry about of, are they always going to be a semifinalist? There's nothing wrong with it. You're a semifinalist. You're a top 4 team in the country. The day I took the job at Denver, it's I've tried to keep it not about me. It's tried to keep it to be about our players, about our university, about our administrators, about everything that we can be good at, so that the game so that others can believe in the game and can make that step that Denver decided to make some years ago, and maybe this will influence some people. The only thing I was certain of is that I was coaching a group of great young men with great assistant coaches, and you just don't. You can never be certain when a little rubber ball bounces the strange ways it does. It's funny, Dana. This is a business group. It's funny. They don't. You saw the elation on the field, and that, that's very natural. You're moving on to a final. But I think my coaching staff. You're talking about 3 guys who've been professional players. They've all been All-Americans in lacrosse. They've all been around this block. They're the ones who coach these guys, and game in and game out. And they quickly got everybody together and said, look, that's great. Let's move on. And we've had that when we lost a couple of games during the year. We've had that when we won last week after being down 7-1. It's just a pretty business-like group that's, we've tried different things coming to the Final Four. We've had guest speakers. We've had, all sorts of motivational things. And this year we are who we are. They don't like that I didn't let them grow playoff beards, but, and it's the way it goes. They'd rather win a championship. It's hard emotionally when you play 56 almost perfect minutes to not talk about the last 4 minutes. Why not be the first team west of the Atlantic Ocean to win this thing? Why not be the youngest team to ever win this thing? Why not be the team that everybody said was just not going to do it, would find a way to falter? If I told you back in September that you were going to play on Memorial Day, and all you had to do was play a little bit tired, or suck it up for 1 minute, or overtime, or whatever happens on Monday, you'd do anything to do it. Now we got the chance. Great job, fellas.
One win, one more win. That's how close DU is to their first NCAA Lacrosse National Championship. The Pioneers already made history yesterday thanks to their very first Final Four win.
1-0, DU. Golden Domers answered back to tie it at 3 when Connor Cannizzaro gives the defender the okie doke, shakes him out of his socks and scores. Pioneers win into halftime with a 4-3 lead. Third quarter now, time winding, Mike Reese, right down Broad Street. His first goal of the season, and no better time to make it happen.
First time in school history they're going to play the national title game. Raul, I know you were on pins and needles watching this game.
That was great. I don't watch a lacrosse game start to finish, but I watched this one start to finish. I did the same thing. It was well deserved. I mean, this was fun to watch. Yeah. I mean, give it to Bill Tierney for bringing lacrosse to Colorado, and we get stuff like this. We get to see another Final Four, now the first ever championship for DU. I have them winning this one. I think they're going to do it. This team has been talked about as being the team of destiny all year, the best team that Bill Tierney's had since coming to Denver, and they're showing it right now.
It's very cool. This is why they went out and got Bill Tierney. He wanted to create an environment in the western part of the United States where lacrosse can compete with all those teams on the eastern seaboard, and he's doing it. So it's great to see. It's great pub for DU. It not only brings them, great notice when it comes to sports, but yeah, it's a recruiting tool for the school for all kinds of students.
Watching a little bit of lacrosse, because I'm kind of marveled at
I didn't realize you were such a lacrosse expert.
Hey, man,
I had no idea.
He's a connoisseur. He's seen one game start to finish now.
Love it.
He's kind of. I'm kind of with you though. But look, on my off day, I'm sitting around the house. I was like, I'm going to watch a little bit of this. I need to. Obviously, it's my job. And then I thought, man, I am sucked in. These guys are great, and I actually I really appreciate the sport a lot more than I had previously. So I know Final Fours 4 out of the last 5 years. They're on their way again, and then now they're going to get a shot in the national title game.
Welcome to Auto Nation All Access. After knocking on the door for the last 5 years, the Pioneers finally get to play for a national championship, trying to become the first Division I champion west of the Appalachians. Remember when lacrosse used to be an East Coast sport? Not anymore. They're true pioneers at DU. It's DU versus Maryland tomorrow, 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Pios have a chance to make history in Philadelphia. We are pleased to be joined by the head coach of your DU Pioneers in Philadelphia, getting ready for tomorrow's national championship game, Bill Tierney. Bill, first off, congratulations. I know you've had multiple national championship game experiences before at Princeton. Does this one feel a little different now that you have a chance to bring a title out west?
Well, every one of them is really unique, and but this is very special. You know, we've been knocking on the door for a few years now, and to get over that semifinal hump and have a chance to bring one home to Denver is really, really special.
Before we talk about Maryland, we need to discuss that semifinal. What a game. I want to know what was going through your mind after Nick Ocello scored that tying goal in the final seconds. You blew a late lead. What do you tell your team going into overtime at that point?
Well, you know, thankfully overtime came. I think if there had been a little more time and they got the ball again, we might have been in some trouble. But once overtime comes, you get a chance to settle the guys down and talk to them and just explain to them that whatever's happened in the past to get us to that point of overtime doesn't matter. We're in a one-goal game, and we've just got to go out and do what we normally do and hope for the best, and that's what happened.
Coach, I thought Ryan LaPlante was phenomenal in goal, but the play of the game may have been in that overtime when Kavanaugh had the ball. Notre Dame had it, their possession, and it was Carson Cannon who came up with the strip that gave you guys the ball right back. That was a big play.
No question. When Carson's not a big takeaway guy, so that to see him get the ball out of the stick of one of their best players, you know, a first-team All-American attackman in that situation was pretty wild, especially knowing that Matt Kavanaugh has something like 6 or 7 overtime or game-winning goals in the last minute of games. So he was the guy that they were going to get to. He was going to go to the goal, and thankfully, Carson made a great play.
Wes Berg scored the game winner, of course, and Wes has been such a rock for your program. He also had a goal earlier in that game, that one of the highlight reel goals I've ever seen. As a coach, though, when you see a guy go behind the back like that, do you cringe or do you let that stuff go?
No, you got to let it go. It was an instinctive play. I was actually what got us to that point. I thought we could have been a little smarter. We won a face-off. We had a 3-goal lead, I think, or 2-goal lead, and Tyler Pace brought the ball down. Probably threw a pass to Wes, even though Wes was wide open. That you know, I thought that maybe he should have pulled out and we could have milked a little bit more clock. But the ball hit the ground. You know, Wesley Berg picked it up and just made a pretty acrobatic play. But he seems, in talking to him, he seems to say he knew exactly what he was doing. So he's either a great liar or a heck of a player, and I think it's the latter.
And here comes Maryland. They've been a force in college lacrosse for quite some time, a defensive-minded team. Incidentally, you had Connor Cannizzaro playing for Maryland last year before transferring to your program. How much will you glean from Cannizzaro about what they do?
No, not a lot. We talked to Connor today a little bit, you know, about some of the things they like to do, more so the individual play of some of the guys. But, you know, it's not going to get you anywhere. You just we know what their offenses are off film. They're actually a very different team this year than they were with Connor, because when they had him last year, he kind of ran the show. He had the ball in his stick most of the time. Now they spread it around more. They're actually a lot like us. They move the ball around. They have 3 or 4 guys who can initiate, and they've got some great finishers.
Coach, I'm really looking forward to the battle at the X. 2 titans of the game there, Trevor Batiste versus Charlie Raffa. The winner of that battle, would you say, gives you a big advantage, whoever wins the face-off battle?
It's probably going to be a 24-25 face-off game. So if you're probably looking at 2 of the best in the game, if it turns out 13-12, really no effect.
Coach, best of luck to you. Here's to the DU Pioneers bringing a national title out west. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's a weird story, but, you know, when you're I was at a place for 22 years that was a fabulous place for me. Kids growing up there, you know, all the championships and all the great things that happened. But, you know, before I spent 22 years at Princeton, I had never been on any job more than 3 years. So I kind of thought of myself, even in the soccer coaching at Hopkins, kind of thought of myself as a program remaker, you know, so to speak. And And this was just such a great opportunity. Trevor had moved out there in 2001, and just from a selfish standpoint, I felt like could have stayed at Princeton forever, and it would have been wonderful. Just felt like it needed that one more spark, and Peg, Bradley Doppus, our AD, offered me that opportunity, and I just thought it was just an amazing place that really wanted to be, they wanted your sport to be the best. Obviously we've got a great hockey program, but you didn't have 38 other sports to contend with, and it was just really exciting for me to see if we could build this thing from the ground up.
The first time they got to the Final Four, I'd already committed, I think, when the year that I was in grade 12, so going there next year was when they made the Final Four for the first time. But being a Canadian kid, you don't see or hear too much about those kind of statistics. I hadn't really looked too much into it. You see, only really the Final Four on TV in Canada, so you see like teams like Johns Hopkins and Syracuse that are in it. But I didn't pick the school because I thought they would give me a chance to make it here. I picked it on a lot of other decisions about the people, the coaches, the actual school, and I knew there was a strong program, and I definitely thought that we could be here. So it wasn't really a leap of faith.
I don't think we really think about the first title. I think we just want to win the title, and we want to win it for our school, for our program, and for all the players and on our team, and especially the seniors. We have such a great senior class this year, and they're really the leaders of this team, and we go as they go. So we really want to get it done this year, and we're excited for our opportunity on Monday. This whole year has been amazing. I love it out in Denver, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Yeah, I've kept in touch with a couple of them throughout the year, but going into this week, I think right before the banquet, we said we were not friends anymore this week. So I think that really settled it. It's just all business from here on out.
Yeah, for me and Ryan, it's our last chance at it, so there's definitely that sense of urgency, and Denver's going to be so good for the next couple of years, and probably for the next couple of decades. But you never know with even having a strong team. There's injuries, there's bad luck, there's a bad bounce or something, and all of a sudden it's one game and you're out. So this is we're really excited to be here, but there's definitely a sense of urgency for us to win it this year.
Ryan, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking of it as another game. I mean, not very much the urgency, just winning a national championship. That's the ultimate goal.
The thing that Connor did, and that went hand in hand with Wesley, is Connor came into a system. It was very different than what he had done in the past. He was always a great player, but Connor had to accept a role in a system that, it came out that he had a lot of the points, but I think he'd be the first one to tell you that he wouldn't have all those points if it wasn't for the system and his teammates. And of course, with Wes being our high scorer last year, him as a senior captain and kind of leader of our team, welcoming Connor in with open arms. Wes just wants to win, and so it's been a seamless transition. Certainly, the story of playing with his older brother has been great for Connor. He's been a great addition to our team, point-wise, of course, but if you look at Zach Miller and you look at Tyler Pace, we lost Jeremy Noble basically for our offense. Zach and Tyler both had more goals than assists last year. This year, more assists than goals. So everybody's melded into a little bit of a different role. Sean moves to attack a few games ago. Jack Bobzien does a great job yesterday at midfield. We're not about an individual, but if you're a good team, an individual is going to end up with the points. Just like an individual is going to end up with the winning goal in overtime. It's just the way it is. But not one of these guys has ever looked at each other and said, I'm better than you, I need more points than you. It's just not what we're about.
Bad things happen to good teams. Bad things happen to good people. But whenever a bad thing happens and you know you have that strength and that core value, the next thing that happens is going to be better. It's going to be better. And when something good happens, the next thing that's going to happen is going to be better. Okay? When you're not built on anything, when your strength comes from your mouth, okay? And things go wrong, there's nothing to fall back on. Let's not worry about what they do. Let's worry about what we do. Let's go out there, and no matter what happens at the beginning, let's play full bore, let them know they're here for a long, long time. And they're playing against the best team in the country. And if each and every one of us does that, then we'll be fine. You have something going on out there? You need to tell us about it. You need to tell us about it. Coaches will make adjustments. You make the plays. Ground balls, get after them. Rebounds, score off them. Battle at the face-off, get the ground ball. Know where we're at. We played 18 games for this. 66 teams are not here today. 2 teams are here because 2 teams persevered through stuff. We know what we've been through. We never made excuses. We just kept plugging. Just kept plugging. And that's all we have to do out here today. Just keep plugging. 2 hours from now, NCAA champions. Let's get that.
It's the East against the West. The Big East against the Big Ten. Someone's bringing a trophy home. Rafa jumps, Denver ball.
Your first shift, you want to get a good touch, make a hit, make a simple play, and build your confidence.
Berg from the spot where he won it on Saturday, starts it off on Monday.
How do you handle the moment? Denver's ready to go. First possession. Down that right alley, it's Zach Miller. He draws the double team. But look at the recovery. He's a tad bit late from the guys in the red jerseys. Berg's able to step in, eye the net, and let it rip right-handed. Almost a carbon copy of the game winner.
Quint, if you look at Berg's release, one of the all-time greats that Bill Tierney coached at Princeton, Jesse Hubbard, he is the answer for this Pioneer offense from that right side. He stretches a defense and shoots 100 miles an hour.
Been extremely productive in the postseason, but he loses it there. Bergdorf comes up with it, gets it to LaPlante.
This is what a man looks like playing against college lacrosse players. Wesley Berg absolutely jacked his experience in international play, paying dividends. Played for Team Canada last year against the best players in the world. Now he's playing against college guys, and he owns one-on-one matchups. I dare you to put a short stick on Berg. He will make you pay.
I know it's probably too little too late, but I was on a radio show last night in Denver, and they asked me if Wesley Berg has any chance to win the Tewaaraton Award if he has a big day today after the game winner in overtime. I said no, it's Lyle Thompson's award, but you never know. Dunn tying up Canizero, forcing the pass. Now good ball movement here, gets a look at a goal. That's why they call it execution. A hat trick already for Wesley Berg.
Let's get the ball off the ground. Let's get the clear out. Push the thing a little bit. All right, got the ball on O. Make sure you remember how long we've been on D. Okay, everybody got me? All right. Hey, 10 minutes is over. Win this 5 minutes. Just win 5 minutes. Let's go. We are.
Dunn has one, Brundle the other. They find the crease. Someone got a piece of that one. Yes, that would have been on SportsCenter, but it's the Pioneers coming up with it. Shot, catch, made, goal. What a look by Pace to Connor Canizero.
This Denver team crashes and gets loose balls because of their box lacrosse background, as well as any team in all of college lacrosse. And look how fast that pass is from Tyler Pace to Canizero.
Adamson is ambidextrous. That's what makes him a tough cover. Running out of angle, very important that you shoot this one straight over the top.
He is the 6th option offensively for Denver. Means he takes typically the opposing team's weakest length, that is scary for the opposition. This kid's game is complete.
Great tie-up defense. Now Cole, one more to West. Shot save, LaPlante. There will be no rebound opportunity, so Ryan LaPlante fired up in the cage for the Pioneers. A big-time save on Henry West. He doesn't want to go to the locker room. He wants to play some more.
All over it.
But just keep playing the way you're playing. Fellas, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. If I had told you this in September, that you'd have a 2-goal lead with 30 minutes left to go in the national championship game, you'd give anything for it. Anything. Give everything. 30 minutes. All right? Offense down here. Defense.
Bounce on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Gassio gets to the middle of the field, shoots. LaPlante makes the save. Pace with the swim, draws the double. Good recovery, but it's going to end up in the stick of Miller, who goes high to high with the hit. Wolford shoots and scores. They lull you to sleep, and then they go quickly.
Wolford's had a great postseason. Tall junior from Connecticut. One of many who has rotated through this second midfield unit all season long. Split dodge right to left down the alley.
And Q, you look at Wolford. He's a change of pace guy for the Pioneers. A lot of their midfielders, two-handed cradle guys who like to attack from the wings. He is an old-school north-south dodging midfielder.
Go ahead. Watch out, play this.
The shot clock's ticking away again. Denver's going to get the ball back with an extra man. Miller passes up the look. Berg won't. Goes low. Score. Wesley Berg has 4.
7 minutes. Play like it's the start of the game. All right. 0-0. Get after it. Let's go. We are. Let's go. Let's take.
And that'll do it. Denver has won the national championship. And for the first time, the trophy is heading west. Pioneers indeed.
People don't realize how hard and how rare this is to work with a group of young people like I have the blessing to do, and wake up each day to work at a university like I have the blessing to do. And all the sacrifices my family's made and these guys have made to go through a journey like this. You know, we wouldn't have admitted it beforehand, but you know, just like Wesley carried the team on his back for a few games here, I feel like we were carrying a burden around, and now it's off.
Yeah, it's you know, it's been a long journey. We've been we were 1 goal away from Loyola our first year, and they ended up winning it. And we had a really good team then, and same with losing to Syracuse in that close game. And you know, just like this year, we were 1 goal away from losing again, and we stuck to it, and the things went our way this time. And it's probably because of all the perseverance we had and all the confidence we had in our team and in the depth that we had this year.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, I could say a lot about what he's done for me as a player, but you know, more so as a person. That's kind of guy he is. It's not just about lacrosse with us, and that's why this program's been so strong. And we bring in the right people and you know, the right team dynamic, and that starts with him. And He's obviously helped me as a player, but he's made me a better person.
It's just special to come in my first year and share this moment with the seniors and all the players and the coaching staff. It just shows the growth of the game, and I mean, we're really excited that we brought home a national championship to the University of Denver.
I mean, yeah, that was kind of the thing we struggled with earlier in the year and in my time in Denver. We would always talk about valuable minutes. So I think today we won those valuable minutes in the tight minutes and over the stretch of the game, and later on it was just huge to get those defensive stops, and it definitely deflates their offense and their confidence, and it brings our momentum going into the next quarter.
I think it's the same. It's a dream come true. I've been wanting to do this my entire life ever since I started playing lacrosse, so it doesn't matter who it's against or who we played. It's just another opponent that we had to beat on our way to the national championship.
First of all, if you know me at all, it's not about thinking I'm crazy, it's knowing I'm crazy. So that's that part of the question's out. Look, it was, I've said this often, it was a selfish decision. It was a university that's run by wonderful people. My boss, Peg Bradley Doppus, took me out on her patio and showed me over the beautiful campus, and it was time for something different in a selfish way. I've got at the time, my wife and I were married 33 years, and now it's 38, I think. And she made that move with me, and that's that. Just Trevor, my son Trevor was out there. My son Brendan lives in Oregon. It was really selfish, honestly. It was really a selfish move. But with that move came a challenge. And I think if you live life facing challenges, just like I've asked these guys to do, I've asked our guys to be a little different. I've asked our guys to be more disciplined. I've asked our guys to, dress well, look well, act well, and maybe micromanage a little bit. But I think when it all comes to the end, I've said this often, young people need and want discipline, and even through the rough spots, they know I love them, and that's the most important part of this whole thing. One of the bricks of the patio, so to speak, was every year we bring in at least 3 Colorado kids. Next year we've got 7 California kids coming in. A lot of people may look at where we are as a detriment. We just want young men that want to be at the University of Denver, and so if people don't want to look in Tennessee, and people don't want to look in Texas, and people don't want to look in Washington and Oregon and California, good. We'll keep looking there. And I think after today, we might get a few Eastern kids as well. I told Mike after the game today, I thought he played the best game of his career today, and what a way to go out. He and Ryan and both. Last game he did a great job until the end, where we count on Mike to shut down the other team's best midfielder, and Perkovic got a few at the end of the last one. I'll take blame for that. We should have changed the defense and pushed out a little bit. But Mike's been phenomenal. He's a little bit of a loose cannon, which every team needs, and I'm really proud that he bought into us enough and we bought into him enough. It was kind of a meeting of the ways, and kind of was stuck with each other, and I thank God that we did and he did. We play this championship game on Memorial Day. There's no greater day to do something for your country than on Memorial Day. So instead of hiding behind all that stuff, I think what we did was we showed that with the great people at a university, the support, with a great university, by the way, where kids get great degrees and are called to be students. I'm hoping with that other hat on that people finally say, you know what, let's do this thing. It's pretty cool. It's easy for a coach, no matter what the topic is, to say, oh, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. We lost 2 games this year, and when we got back from Carolina after 20 hours on the road, everybody wanted to make the excuse for us. We didn't. We didn't. We lost to a better team that day. When we lost to Ohio State, we had 26 final exams that day. We didn't allow the kids to talk about that to the press. We lost a lacrosse game. And those things, when you face those challenges, that makes you stronger. And one of the things that I was really stunned at when I went out to Denver is that, no discredit to anybody here, please, but it's ABC, CBS, NBC, you know, ESPN out there, they're interviewing our kids on a Tuesday afternoon at 30 degrees and snowing. So, you know, to their credit, they're the ones who took us in. You know, it's a great professional sports town, but when you have room for a lacrosse team and kind of adopted us and followed our path, that's very special when our guys see that they're out there. I think for the city, I hope that the city continues to realize what a great game lacrosse is, and that we can continue to do pretty well. Yeah, that when Ryan makes a save like that with no time left or whatever it was, a couple seconds left, it carries. You got to remember when that is. You know, it carries you right into the locker room. Our guys were running on air into that locker room because of that save. And I think it just put a jolt into our defense that, you know, as long as Ryan's playing the way Ryan's playing, we can slide a little faster. We can take we can play a little tighter if they want to shoot outside shots, and he's going to be there for us. So that was huge momentum, because we had kind of gone flat there offensively for a while. We talked about this the other day. It's not about me. It's about just, you know, being in a situation like I was at Princeton. We did pretty well, and it was time to move. It was time to go on to a new challenge, to something very exciting and very special. And now being at a place with a group of young men that refuse to lose. And I don't mean, I'm not downplaying that. But someday when I go to my grave, I don't want to put in my headstone how many national championships I had. I want to put them on my headstone that my players love me. Not a big game ball guy, okay? But the other day after the game, okay, the referee gave me this. And obviously we couldn't have got today without what happened on Saturday. So Wes, overtime. This one the ref gave to Trev today after the game, okay? This was a team win, fellas, obviously. You know, if I could divide it up and give it to my staff, I would. You know, what they did to prepare you guys in one day, and then obviously what you guys did. And I'm gonna say it again, and I'll always say this: you black team guys, never diminish your role. Never diminish your role. Remember, great players lose their skill. Great teammates last forever. Ryan LaPlante, where are you, buddy? Yeah! All in all, it's just it's a wonderful day, and we'll think about those bigger topics soon, but got to get our guys back to class on Tuesday.
What a smart move by DU to go all in on lacrosse. It's no longer just a wine and cheese sport played by the social parvenu. It's the fastest growing sport in America, which is fitting since it wasn't invented centuries ago by Native Americans. Lacrosse combines the physicality of hockey, the endurance of soccer, the strategies of basketball. It's almost like 5 sports rolled into one. Is it a mainstream sport? No, it doesn't have to be. There's something pure about that. Lacrosse is one of the few sports where the college game is more popular than the pro game. And the Pioneers happen to have one of the best coaches who ever lived, a coach who moved here to grow the game. That's what you call a true pioneer. So move over, Syracuse. Make room, Johns Hopkins. DU is here to stay. Can you pass the Grey Poupon?
And the school's all-time leading scorer, Wes Berg, got off to a hot start against Maryland. He scored the team's first 3 goals.
And it was probably the most celebration-filled 3.5 hours the team has ever endured. They just got off the plane about 15 minutes ago, gathering their bags, and the team was thrilled. They just couldn't wait to show us their NCAA trophy.
It was unbelievable. It kind of hit us all when we got on the plane. It was because it's such an unbelievable event. You work so long for it, and then to have it actually happen is just a ridiculous feeling. We were all speechless, and now those emotions are coming out. It's really cool.
The Pioneers make college lacrosse history, and it's a Hall of Fame coach leading the way.
We're just thrilled for all those young men and all the people who believed in us that something like this could get done against the establishment.
this time, with great honor, please welcome Chancellor Chop, accompanied by Mr. Pioneer himself, Daniel L. Ritchie.
Welcome to this amazing, wonderful, terrific celebration. I want to welcome Mayor Hancock and Lieutenant Governor Joe Garcia. And most of all, I want to welcome our team. Congratulations. I know these guys understand that great victories are made of their hard work, their endurance, their perseverance. But I know they also understand that the reason they're sitting here today is because many in this room, many behind them, have supported you and support our teams. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce a man who took us Division I and who's been waiting for this for a while, Dan Ritchie.
Please. Thank you. I just expected to be in the audience today until she talked me into this. I just would add, some of you may remember that at our last Founders Day, I was asked on stage what was my #1 wish for DU, and my answer was a National Men's Lacrosse Championship. I'm a little afraid to make any more wishes, but I want to thank, along with the Chancellor, our fantastic team, our fantastic coach and coaches, our fantastic athletic director, who's shaking her head, and all of our supporters and fans, to see how the excitement, the way our fans did at Philadelphia, and we were kind of in enemy territory. We held our own against Notre Dame and against Maryland. And again, I don't think you can know how important this is in our success. Your enthusiasm, your support, and your love. Thank you.
I don't think we can give enough rounds of applause to Daniel L. Ritchie, do you? Because I sure don't. Next, we are very proud to call him a pioneer, and it sounds like there's a story coming later of how he became a pioneer. But please welcome the legendary head coach Bill Tierney to the podium.
Thank you. This is just truly amazing. You know, we often start out these things with thanking really important people, and I'm going to do that. If you were around Denver this winter, around Lacrosse this winter, spring, you know what a bad weather season it is, and I think some of the people that get overlooked the most. We have an amazing grounds crew here. We have an amazing group of you know, it's not everywhere you have a NCAA spring tournament in May and have to clear off 5 inches of snow at 6 o'clock in the morning. But our guys did that, and to them and everybody that's behind the scenes and supports us, far too many people to mention, but know that myself, my staff, and my team thank all of you. Obviously, great thanks go out to a woman who's here today that without her, this would not be, none of this would be possible. You know, that we have the finest lacrosse-only stadium in the country, and without Laura Barton, we would not be here today. This year we celebrated our 50th year of lacrosse at DU, and not too many better ways to celebrate that than with a national championship. So to all those guys who to all those guys who started the club back in 1965 and, you know, drove cross country or out to California, I don't think they thought, but there's some here today, and we're so thankful for all of those guys. But I can tell you what's really unique about DU and DU Lacrosse is our students. I'm not sure if we needed to entice them to come with a, with a tailgate every Saturday, but it certainly didn't hurt. But to everybody who sets that up, every opposing coach, when they come to play a game at DU, when we stand kind of at the sideline before the game, they always look at me and then they look back out to the tailgate and they say, "Are they coming in here?" Then obviously, again, I get too much accolade for all this, but this is absolutely one of, the finest group of young men. I've been blessed to win national championships with my two sons on the team at Princeton, but I can tell you, this group of young men has bought into everything that we've asked them to do. They work very hard, but they've also been special. They sacrifice, they do anything we ask, and for the good of the team. The sacrifices they've made for each other, I think, has been the thing that carried us through yesterday afternoon. We ask more of our players than most places do. We ask them to be disciplined. We ask them to look good. I can tell you one of the greatest things I ever heard, we got off the plane on Wednesday night when we flew to Philadelphia, and one of the flight attendants got on and said that he had been 25 years flying planes with pro teams, college teams, and this was the finest group of young men he had ever been around. When I first came to Denver, there was a lot of individual awards on our locker room walls, and I spent 2 weeks here since I had nothing else to do, and I scraped each and every one of those individual awards off our walls and our ceilings and had them paint on the walls 2 things: "We are Denver," and the other one is, "We will be one." We are one. Thank you very much.
So next, representing this beautiful state of Colorado, please give a pioneer welcome to Lieutenant Governor Joe Garcia.
Congratulations, Pioneers. This is a big deal. I'm here on behalf of Governor John Hickenlooper to say to all of you, it's an amazing accomplishment for you as a team. It's an amazing accomplishment for DU. It's an amazing accomplishment, though, also for the city of Denver and the entire state of Colorado. And we want to thank you for bringing this championship home to Colorado.
Next, we have, from this great city, we are proud to represent. The city's name is on their jerseys. Please welcome Mayor Michael B. Hancock.
Woo! I just told Lieutenant Governor you stole my entire speech. Pioneers, I am so freaking proud of you. Listen, 3 years ago when we were awarded the presidential debate here at DU, everyone said, this will put DU on the map. You put DU on the map. So not only are you the first team west of the Mississippi, you're the first team west of North Carolina to bring home the lacrosse championship team. This city, this state is so proud of you. But they gave me 2 minutes, and since the governor, Lieutenant Governor, stole my whole speech, I just need a selfie. Will you do a selfie with me, champs? Let's do it.
As Coach Tierney alluded to, our students are the heart and soul of this great institution. On behalf of all the students here at the University of Denver, we are pleased to welcome our senior class of men's lacrosse to the podium to share their perspective on this national championship title. On behalf of the team and the tournament's most outstanding player and finalist for the prestigious Tewaaraton Award, please welcome Senior Westberg.
I've been asked just to start off by talking about what I wanted to get out of the 4 years by coming to Denver, and obviously the most important thing everybody says about going to college is getting your degree. And over the last couple of weeks we've all been pretty busy, so if any of the teachers are in the crowd here, we're going to send out a barrage of emails tonight. Anything will help. A couple extensions. I'll settle for some B's. behalf of my teammates, I think they could use some help too. Words can't explain how lucky I am to be with this senior class that we've got to grow with since 4 years ago, living in halls together and all the amazing memories we've had. We've had a lot of heartbreaks going into some close games and losing, and it really makes it that much sweeter right now, the way we got to end off here, and we couldn't be happier to done it with this group of people.
As an alumni, it is a pleasure to call this my alma mater. We'd like to give gratitude to all students, alumni, season ticket holders, faculty, staff, city, and state dignitaries joining us this afternoon. Our gratitude to you for your continued support of the University of Denver is forever cherished. Please remember to pick up your championship merchandise while you are here or order online at shopdenverpioneers.com. Always important to get that. The new apparel will be arriving throughout the week. Show the rest of the world that you are a proud citizen of the lacrosse capital of planet Earth.